Okay, so picture this. A pill with absolutely no medicine in it. Or maybe a cream with zero active ingredients. Now, imagine it actually works. That's the placebo effect. And honestly, it's one of the most baffling and fascinating mysteries in all of medicine. So the big question is, how on earth can a fake treatment create a real, measurable result? Well, let's dive in and find out.
So let's set the scene. The year is 1996, and there's a clinical trial for a brand new painkiller called trivaricane. They've got 56 volunteers, right? A cream is applied to one of their fingers, but the other one is left totally untreated. Then, both fingers are put into these painful clamps. Ouch.
And the results? They were fantastic. I mean, overwhelmingly, the volunteers reported that the finger with the cream hurt way less. It really looked like trivaricane was a huge success, a real game changer.
But, and this is a big but, here's the twist. Trivaricane wasn't a painkiller at all. It was a complete dummy cream, zero active ingredients. And yet, for some reason, the volunteers felt real relief. How weird is that? And that really brings us to the central question, right? How is this even possible? Well, the answer lies in the incredible power of something called the placebo effect. It's this amazing phenomenon that just goes to show you how deeply connected our minds and our bodies really are.
Now, that story about trivaricane? That wasn't just some one-off fluke. Nope, this is a really well-documented effect. So let's break it down. What exactly is happening when a placebo is at work?
Okay, so at its core, the placebo effect is when you see a real physical improvement just because you believe a fake treatment is going to work. And I want to be clear here. It's not just all in your head. Your brain is literally, physically making your body feel better.
And you know, placebos can take all sorts of forms. It's pretty wild. We usually think of simple sugar pills, right? But this effect has been documented with everything from water-filled injections to fake medical devices. They've even done elaborate sham surgeries. I mean, there are studies where a faked knee operation was just as effective for pain as the real deal. So the key isn't the pill or the procedure itself, it's all about the ritual and the belief you have in it.
So where did this whole idea even come from? I think to really understand its power today, we've got to take a look back at its pretty surprising history.
Yeah, this whole concept has really changed a lot over time. It all started way back in the 1700s, where doctors basically used placebos just to make patients feel better, to placate them. Then jump to 1799, and we start seeing these early experiments. There was this one physician who proved that dummy wooden rods could work just as well as fancy metal ones for joint pain. By the 1950s, placebos became the gold standard for testing new drugs. And today? Well, today we have brain imaging that's showing us the real neuroscience behind what's happening. And the name itself kind of tells the story. Placebo is actually Latin for I shall please. And originally, that's exactly what it was for. Treatments given not to cure someone, but just to comfort them when there weren't really any other options left. So back to that question. Is this all just in your head? Well, yes and no. Modern brain imaging shows us that, yeah, the process kicks off in the mind, but the physical effects it has on the body are absolutely 100% real. It's this really fascinating top-down process. Okay, so it all starts in your prefrontal cortex. That's kind of like your brain's thinking center. It sets an expectation. Maybe it's based on how confident your doctor sounds, or even just what the pill looks like. That expectation then sends a signal to your brain to basically open up its own internal pharmacy. It starts releasing these super powerful chemicals that travel down to your spinal cord and literally block pain signals. So you see, your brain isn't being tricked, it's being triggered. It starts pumping out its own powerful neurochemicals. We're talking about things like dopamine, which gives you that feeling of pleasure. It makes its own natural opioids, which act just like morphine. And of course, endorphins, those famous feel-good chemicals. Your brain is literally manufacturing its own heavy-duty medicine.
And this whole thing goes way beyond just pain relief. A placebo response can actually cause measurable changes in your hormone levels. It can even trigger shifts in your immune system. A lot of this is coordinated by a part of the brain called the hypothalamus, which is kind of like the body's command center for all these functions.
So this incredible mind-over-body power is, well, it's amazing. But for modern medicine, it also creates a really complex paradox. And this really gets to the heart of the conflict, doesn't it? I mean, on the one hand, the placebo effect is this incredibly powerful healing tool. It can actually change your blood pressure, reduce stress hormones,
real stuff. But on the other hand, it's a huge problem. It can make people skip treatments that are proven to work, the positive effects can sometimes fade, and it makes testing new drugs in clinical trials super complicated.
Which brings us full circle, right back to those 56 volunteers from the beginning. They weren't lying, they weren't just imagining things. Their belief in that fake cream triggered a very real biological response. It's the ultimate proof that what we believe can physically change what we feel.
So, at the end of the day, the placebo effect isn't magic. It's neuroscience. It's just this powerful reminder that one of the most fascinating subjects in all of medical science isn't in some high-tech lab or a pharmacy. It's right behind our own eyes. Which kind of leaves us with one final big thought, doesn't it? What other undiscovered marvels are we all carrying around inside of us?